But on 740s, like I know families that like grandpa bought a 740 brand new, first year of introduction, hunted the wheels off of it, handed it down to his son, who hunted the wheels off it, that handed it down to his son, that has been still hunting the wheels off of it.
What is up, everybody? Mark on the mic. Across from me, my good friend, Mr. Ryan Muckenhirn. Ryan, we podcast and we sit here and we chat at such a frequent cadence. It's nearly automatic.
Jesus.
Which is what we're going to talk about today. We're talking about auto-loading deer rifles. We have one on the table today. Ryan, this one is near and dear to my heart. This was, really the first rifle that I purchased with my own monies. And we'll get into the story behind this rifle a little bit later. But, man, this is a Browning BAR Mark II in the venerable 30-06. Shot a handful of deer with it. And I think auto-loading deer rifles are super cool. We were chatting about, I don't know how these are going to air back to back, and maybe I'm giving a sneak peek. I don't know, but we were talking about bolt-action shotguns just yesterday. One of which was a Browning of your own, but one thing that we talked about, kind of a dying breed, right?
Fact, yeah, oh yeah.
Where I'd say auto-loading deer rifles, I'm not going to say that they're the most popular, but a person still has a few options out there.
There's a handful.
The Browning, since we got it on the table, let's just start there. This thing, its roots trace back to World War I.
Go on.
With the Browning automatic rifle.
Very different gun.
Okay, very different gun.
The only thing the same is one, they both say Browning. They use BAR as their name.
Mm-hmm. Browning automatic rifle, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Their operating system, their ownership, their cartridge. So the BAR was, in fact, 7.62 by 63 millimeter, a.k.a. 30-06 Springfield.
You're darn right. I'm going to read, I printed off another website, Ryan.
The whole damn thing.
I got the whole thing, baby.
Nice.
You know how you can select pages? Not interested.
Not you.
This is from the Browning website, and who can say it better but them, right?
Sure.
Much of the fame of today's sporting BAR began through the fame of the original military BAR designed by John M. Browning near the end of World War I. This rifle was called the BAR M1918, 1918, was commissioned by the U.S. Army in an effort to break the stalemate of the trench warfare in the battlefields of France and Belgium. It is considered one of the first and certainly one of the most effective of all the automatic centerfire light machine guns ever made. Its official U.S. military use began in 1918 and continued until the Vietnam War. It was used primarily as a SAW, a squad automatic weapon, for decades and proved very difficult to replace. I mean, the next picture they have is my rifle, Ryan, essentially. And it says it took John M. Browning 3 months to design it. He was a mastermind, wasn't he?
A lot of brains up there.
I think it was like it just made sense to him, He took this project so seriously that his son Val personally did testing and training of the American troops in its short time at the front. The sound of the BR became legendary at 330 rounds per minute. Every shot was distinguishable, and the sound became uniquely associated with the BAR, a sound that struck fear into the hearts of the enemy.
Got him.
It said the BAR made a strong comeback in World War II as the 1918 A2, a newer version that had a higher rate of fire, 550 rounds per minute. This mine holds 4+1.
The original BAR was 20. The receiver started as like a 20-some pound block of steel,
mm-hmm.
and then was machined out. And I if I remember correctly, the unassembled weight of the receiver alone was 8 pounds.
I mean, that could be. I believe that's a picture of it right here.
That is a BAR, yeah. And then there was a couple of other neat things that happened with the BAR with licensing, and it became like the Colt Monitor.
Okay.
Bonnie and Clyde made famous the BAR.
Sure.
And Monitor is one of their regular grabs. Good anti-vehicle, good anti-personnel. That is not what this is.
It's not what it is. I go into the history though, and I also look at this picture, Ryan, and I go, it's not that far off.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, and now you're placating me.
No, I'm not placating you, Mark. They're just very different things. They keep the same name. The spirit is alive. Okay.
Should we talk about the Mark 1 or just go into the Mark 2?
Well, so this is, I mean, there was a number of semi-automatic deer rifles of the era, from the late 40s, 50s, and 60s that really came into vogue. Remington had some contemporaries. Winchester had some contemporaries. They were older than that. Even if you look at some of like the self-loading guns that were hunting rifles, the Model 8, Model 81, these were popular hunting rifles, and they didn't all make it. Remington's, 740 series, 742, yep. 7400, they carried on until Remington's ultimate demise. But the Browning BAR has stuck, and it's been evolved now. They're on Mark IIIs, some adaptations thereof. They've held fast. They're a cult classic. And I think the further north and east you go in the U.S., the more popular they are. And so in my deer camp back in the day, nobody had a semi-auto. They had pumps, but semi-autos were pretty popular around the area. You'd meet other four-wheeler hunters on the trail. and there they would have the BAR or the Remington Auto on the four-wheeler rack, covered in mud, and they're super popular. And then you go through northern Minnesota, much of Wisconsin, Michigan, and then over into the areas of the Northeast. It was very, very ubiquitous firearm.
I mean, very popular. I mean, I was pretty much as far northwest as you can get.
Sure. Probably a similar, I'd bet, Mark, if we took random samplings of hunters from all the areas that we've talked about to include I think you're from Washington, right?
Yeah, correct.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you remember.
Yeah. If we were to take them and they're like typical attire, diet, habitat, and then like locale, and like where they like to hang out, and you line them all up, it'd be the same story. There's probably a flannel. There's probably a co-op or a grain station or a timber company hat. There's probably a square body truck. There's probably a BAR, a 742, something along those lines. And there's probably an affinity for a similar type of beer.
I mean, possibly. I mean, I think you could be onto something there.
There's a challenge for the listeners.
I know.
Just glazes right over it. I'm trying to involve you. Take a picture of your local hunter. If you're in the Pacific Northwest.
Have you seen this man?
Yeah, and like AI could draw him.
I mean, you got to remember, when I got this rifle, I was still in the era of wool.
His teeth were made of wool.
His teeth were made of wool. Was a high-tech textile.
Still is.
It really is. It's tough. It's tough to beat. Growing up for me, my dad had a pump, Remington pump. My brother had a Remington pump. My grandfather had a Remington pump. He had some bolt action rifles as well, and my first gun was a Remington pump. The thought of handcuffing myself with a follow-up shot by using a bolt action rifle was just like I couldn't.
Absurd.
It was absurd. I would see a person with a bolt action rifle, like, what are you doing?
What an idiot!
You have these other options,
yeah.
right? So naturally, when I was like, I think I'm ready for a new rifle, my brother he'd bought a BAR.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I want one of those too. That thing's pretty cool. So, and also when I realized that I could even increase my rate of fire over the pump, that's just all I needed to know. I didn't check,
Yeah.
I didn't check
Gotta have it.
the weight of the rifle or
Not
this or
not
that.
important.
Also, at the time when I got this rifle, new on scene was the Boss. As you can see on the end of the barrel of this fine firearm, the ballistic optimizing shooting system. We've talked about it a little bit before, a handful of times. Essentially, it's a brake and a barrel tuner all in one.
Yeah. Hot topic on the internet these days.
Barrel tuners.
Tuners don't work.
I think that's false.
Could be.
You don't think it's false?
There's way too many variables.
Okay. Maybe that's a conversation for another
Way
day.
too many variables.
Here's the deal. I can tell you this. I can tell you what I believed. The advertising.
Sure. Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. They always had the best print ads, like in magazines.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm talking like early mid-90s.
Eat more fast food.
Yeah, and you like open
And
it
it'd
up.
be a
and
pronghorn.
Yeah. And their text, they did good.
I remember one for their shotguns. It was a fast Chinese takeout, and it was a pheasant flying away. It was an advertisement for one of their shotguns.
That's funny.
It worked. Your advertising worked. That was really good stuff, by the way.
You guys got him. He still got.
I have a most certainly a place in my heart for Browning firearms. The Mark II, introduced in 1993. I believe I got this one probably a little bit closer to 97, 98. Because I remember my freshman year of college, I shot myself a real nice 2-point blacktail, but it was still with my pump. So I shot him with my pump, and I know about my junior or senior year, I shot, to this day, the biggest blacktail of my life with this rifle. Mm-hmm. And
How come you don't iron this thing out from time to time?
I think this might be the catalyst for me to. We've talked about doing kind of like a throwback doe hunt, and this will probably be the gun that I bring out.
Yeah, everybody else is bringing early to mid 1900s lever guns. Mark's bringing a BAR. He don't screw around.
Again, I'm giving myself the advantage.
Hey, I get it.
But yeah, I remember that hunt to this day. It was cold. It was probably about the third week. It's probably the last weekend of our general deer season. Man, it was cold.
Chilly, huh?
Big hoar frost on the ground.
Love it.
Clear
Beautiful.
cut, absolutely 100% frozen over. And I was standing on what I called the dirt hump. Came down this logging road. There was a landing, and then you dipped off of that, and there was kind of this soft dirt hump that gave you just a little bit of elevation. And I'd stand there, and by goodness, about, I want to say like 9 or 10 a.m., I see this deer just walk out, stops. I'm like, that was a big buck. And shot him at probably, what seemed like a pretty long shot offhand, about probably 200 yards, I imagine, 150, 200 yards.
That was before you were into chicken proofing.
Oh, way before,
Yeah.
man. I had a 2.5 to 10 on top of it at the time. And I remember thinking what an incredible advantage I had over the 3 to 9 I'd been using previously, because it was
One more.
Yeah. And man, shot that buck. Just like I said, to this day, my biggest buck that I've ever shot. My grandfather wasn't able to hunt with us that morning. I don't exactly remember why. But when we got back to the house, we dropped the tailgate, and I remember he just goes.
Was this in your international scout, by the way?
No.
Oh, because I noticed today.
Oh, that's a Bronco, though.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah.
well.
It'd be better if it was a Scout.
Shoot.
I'm pretty sure that's Bronco.
I think it says Bronco right now.
Okay. No, we'd driven over in my dad's 88 F-250.
Nice.
And But we dropped the tailgate, and I did. I had made like a really nice shot on this buck. I mean, right in the pocket, behind the shoulder. I remember he walked off and, walked a little bit staggered and tipped over and dropped the tailgate. And my grandpa goes, he was a man of few words. And he just goes, "Nice shot." And that's about that was about the extent of it. But I think he was pretty impressed with the deer, and yeah, I know he and my grandmother also would be whenever we got one, she was excited to see it, and then she would always go, "Oh, poor thing," And I remember I was visiting them one day, and I'd shot a deer. It might have been that 2-point that we're talking about, and we ran to some friends of theirs, and she was like, and I didn't know these people, but they're like, "Oh, we heard you got your buck this year," So it was pretty cool. Like I was like, "Oh, they talk about me."
All made possible
By the Browning BAR Mark II Safari. And actually, Ryan, I should point out, so that buck that we're talking about, and I want you to, short leash.
Tethered.
There we go.
Look at that.
This is an artist's rendition.
Yeah.
Surprise gift. Got a little misty. Honestly, totally unexpected. Beautiful piece. Ryan, can you played a part in the origin of this? I was a little bit I didn't know what you were up to.
Yeah, you were a nervous pervis, man.
You said, "Can you send me pictures at about every angle of
your best blacktail?
Your best blacktail buck?" And I was
lots of what? What are you doing? Why? What are you up to?
Why?
And
I was
are you gonna hurt me? You gonna make fun of me? It's a good buck. It's not a great buck. And I just said, "No, Mark, just send me the pictures. I promise it's all good." And so he did.
I mean, it seemed innocent enough. I mean,
yeah. So here's the scoop. This was painted by a very dear friend of mine, Nate Hilliard. You can find him on Instagram. It's Nate Fine Art. Nate is a very multifaceted artist. He does silver work, casting, jewelry. I fell in love with his watercolor. And kind of the impetus behind this was he and I were at Western Hunt Expo last year, which is also where I met him, also over a watercolor.
Well, and I got to meet him as well.
Yeah, yep. Many years ago.
What a very just pleasant visit.
Oh, yeah. Many years ago, I had lost my dog, really, really good dog. And he was like, I think he was slightly higher than I was on the, like the child ranking structure.
Okay, right.
Yeah, just a tick above. And Nate had painted a picture of my dog, which was really cool, off of a picture that I had. And so he gave it to me at Western Hunt Expo. And
incredible.
I was shook, man. And that picture and my dog's tags still hang in my folks' four-season porch. So my old man can look at it when he watches whatever it is he watches, 2.5 Men. It's like his favorite show.
It's good. It's good comedy.
It's garbage television.
That was a hit TV series.
It is, but man, he got so up my expletive for watching The Simpsons and King of the Hill. And then he watches 2.5 Men. Are you kidding me? Anyway, so Nate and I are chit-chatting.
Do you think your dad ever took the time to appreciate those shows or completely?
Simpsons and King of the Hill? Never.
I would think it's a child's cartoon that's a little bit.
No, he thought it was like Beavis and Butthead, and which he thought they were just doing heroin in the cartoon form.
Yeah, I think he dismissed it before realizing truly how.
Yeah. I'm sure there was like a TV evangelist that was like, "This is going to bring the devil into our children."
Yeah, no, it was good writing.
My mom ended up loving King of the Hill, which is funny. She thought it was a great show because Hank Hill is my father.
Maybe that's why I didn't like it too close to home.
Oh, yeah. Stung a little bit. Look in the mirror, you know. So anyway, Nate and I are jamming. And he's like, "Man," he's like, "I'm bored." And I'm like, I had premeditated this ask that I had of him before I went to the show, because I'd been in the planning phase of this upland safari. And so I'm like, well, what do you mean? He's like, I don't know. I'm just looking for something new and exciting. And he was showing me this this type of art, and I'm going to butcher. I don't know what it's called, but it's beautiful. He showed me a picture of a Cape buffalo that had been done in this style, and it looks like surreal. It's so good, and I thought it was really interesting. But I fell in love with his watercolor because I saw him paint a picture of a pronghorn, and he's an art teacher now. He's an assistant principal, but he did this pronghorn, and then he did a sage grouse, and they knocked my socks off. And then of course he did my dog, which is lovely. But so we get into talking. He's like, well, what do you got going on this year? And I tell him I'm going to kick off this upland safari thing. I'm going to start with the prairie grouse and some mountain grouse species. And he's like, well, that taxidermy bill is going to bite. And I said, well, about that, I've got this idea, and I'm wondering if I run it by you. I said, the taxidermy bill, that $500 to $700 a bird, is untenable. I'm simply not going to do it. There's 14 species. We're not going down that road. And I also don't necessarily want to look at dead birds, right? Cool as they are. But I said, I was wondering, would you paint me a representative of the species of each? And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I want a representative of the species of each. And so he did. And I took possession of them now. Current time recording is 10/1. Would have been about 3 weeks ago. And they're marvelous.
You got all of them?
Mm-hmm.
Up front?
Yeah. Yep.
High confidence.
Well, so here's the scoop. So the initial plan, actually, when we got into this, is each time I'd kill the bird, he'd do the picture. But this could take me years.
Sure.
So what I'm doing, and this is Nate helped me with this. They're going to get framed and hung, and every time I kill a bird, I'm going to take a feather from the bird and I'm going to put it in the frame down along the border.
Oh, fantastic! I love it.
Yeah, because I've kept just about every salvageable ruffed grouse fan that I have, and so I have a box of ruffed grouse fans. What am I going to do with them?
Right.
I mean, I don't know how many there are in there, and it's a lot. And I can't help myself. Like every time I shoot a turkey, I've got the fan, so I've got a stack of turkey fans like this.
I was going to say, I had loaded a bunch of meat in my freezer the other day and had to rearrange my stack of turkey fans.
Yeah. So anyway,
I can't force myself to. I haven't been able to make the time to do anything with them, and I also haven't been able to force myself to purge them.
Sure.
Either.
So because Nate is my friend. Nate is a friend of Vortex Optics. Nate is Mark's friend. He said, hey, I got these pictures done. I want to do something for Mark. What can I do? And Mark talks endearingly about hunting in the sword ferns in it's Washington, right?
Yeah.
In Washington State. And so we got to jamming about this, and Mark has an affinity towards his homeland, which I believe is Washington, blacktails in the sword ferns. And so that was the compilation there. And so I got several pictures of Mark's buck and shot him over to Nate, and voila.
The other impressive thing to me was the
time lapse.
It was like 2 weeks. I don't even know.
Oh yeah, he's good. He's expedient.
Oh, and then he did
Oh,
show like a time lapse of it. It was beautiful, but like I'm like, you did that quickly? Like that was crazy to me. So anyway, a bit of a digression, I know, but I couldn't talk about this rifle and that buck without mentioning this.
I did not know that this was what did this.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool, man.
So, and actually the last blacktail buck that I shot was just quintessential. I mean, just like this.
Yeah.
I mean, when he tipped over, you basically couldn't even see him because the sword ferns were so high and just, old timber. And actually, it's forest management over there. Like the next year, that timber was so mature. Like
that was the last time he was going to be in there.
They took it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but a new clear cut comes through, it is a cycle. So anyway, I'm going to read some features, Ryan. Just read it. I
have a question before you get into that.
Yeah.
Is this a highlight of your BAR, or are we talking about semi-automatic deer rifles in general?
We're doing both.
Okay.
But I figured this is the one that we have here.
That's true. That's correct. Yeah, that's a fact. It's here.
blued receiver finish, gloss finish select walnut stock, high relief scroll engraving. It's a very classy, elegant rifle.
It's lovely.
Gas piston operation, detachable box magazine with the hinged floor plate, or like the.
Which you're in love with, man.
I do like that. Do you hear that? Just click.
Click.
Strong action bar inertia block link up reduces barrel vibration to improve accuracy. Integral buffering system reduces wear and stress on the rifle's operating system. So, I think a lot of the upgrades to this variant were kind of the internals and just refining things and making them operate reliably. And when we talk about the 742, maybe we'll talk a little bit about operating and reliably.
Yeah.
Boy, this one is just, it runs like a sewing machine.
Sure does. I've shot this gun.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's an autoloader. I mean, for an .6, the recoil
very
is
pleasant.
Oh, it's very pleasant. And it's just, I'd say it's maybe it's not a heavy rifle, but it's not an ultralight at the same time. Boy, carries easy, shoots well. It's accurate. It does a really nice job. I don't know. I love everything about this thing. I bought it with my my summer money that I'd earned over the summer.
Mixtapes?
No, but I believe my parents thought with my intention for the money that I spent on this rifle was to go towards, like school-related things.
Well, where are you today, Mark?
Here, you know what? Thank you, Ryan.
Hey, no problem.
Thank you.
I still fight that uphill battle with my old man.
I think my mom was irritated. My dad was kind of like, whatever, I get it.
See that, or just spend it on some sort of fancy boombox. This is way better.
Yeah, I remember, and it was a chunk of change at the time. It was probably about $550, $575.
Yeah, that was circa 97, 98?
Yep. Got it at Gart Sporting Goods.
Yep.
I think I went down, they were in Moscow, Idaho, and I probably looked at that rifle about 5 different times.
Mark, that makes me so happy to hear, because here's another digression. I've owned just about everything I've ever wanted to. There's only a handful that I haven't. And these days when I want something, I just take it, and it's kind of cold and soulless, You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I want a new muzzleloader, or I want a new shotgun, or whatever. It's like, find one and buy it. But back in the day, there was this courting process where I'd go to the gun shop, and I knew exactly where it was on the rack, and I get nervous as hell if all of a sudden it wasn't in that spot, and then I panic. I look 3 over. Oh, somebody picked it up and set it back down.
Oh, it's still there. Oh, it's still there.
And I'd look at it, and I'd like fantasize about like the adventures.
Yeah. Make the guy that you've talked to 4 or 5 times. Hey, can you pull that off the rack for me?
Yeah, that's what I loved about our gun shop. Is you just walk in and grab them.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing behind a counter. I think we sold more guns because of that. But I can remember doing that, and I can remember the feelings of anxiety when you walked out the shop, because you knew you didn't have it at that moment in time, and you had this goal. It's going to be X amount of days, weeks, or months until I have this money in hand that I can go do it. Like, please let it survive. Please don't let it slip away. And there's still a couple of guns like I think on fondly that I did that with, that I just didn't commit to, and it's just asinine. There was a Weatherby Athena 3 over under that they were made by SKB. That was it was 20 gauge gun, 28-inch barrels. I know the guy who bought it, and it was perfect. The walnut on that thing was exquisite. And why I didn't buy that gun, it was an Athena d'Italia. I don't remember. Anyway, I'm thinking about it right now. I can't tell you how many times I picked that gun up and thought about all the rough grouse that I could crush on the ground with it. But yeah, that's why I love guns. Is a story just like that, man.
We should, yeah.
That's why I love guns, is because they facilitate adventures and excitement at different case or different level and cadence than other things do.
I mean, I remember like it's kind of like this was a major purchase.
Sure.
My heart was pounding.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like with excitement, probably with a little bit of, in the back of my head, I know that
I'm broke. Worth it.
Yeah. Gonna need to shoot a deer with this thing because I'm gonna need the meat. But yeah, it was cool. It's a gun that still means a lot to me, and like we talk about, sometimes I should break it out and definitely hunt it again.
Yeah,
because it is a great rifle.
Yeah. Currently not wearing a scope. We were using it for a cartridge stock not that long ago, and we had mounted something up and then dismounted it.
Yeah.
We should get that outfit again, but
yeah,
I probably got some Leopold standards in 30 millimeter rolling around in my garage. Maybe maybe like 7-8 pairs. We probably mock that up.
I was thinking about that today because when I pulled it out of the safe, I was like, oh yeah, I had forgotten that we had pulled that scope off.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, I think it's a good reminder to.
In fact, I think I probably have some in my desk right now.
Might have to put them on because I think I think it needs a LHT 3 to 15.
Mark, that is heinous. Needs a Viper HD 2 to 10.
This thing shoots well, Ryan.
I know. I've shot it.
We need the scope with the turnets on top. Shoot long range.
Oh boy. So anyway, back on semi-automatic hunting rifles.
I will concede that a Viper HD
2 to 10,
3 to 15
is the perfect fit.
Would be fantastic for it.
Okay.
Agree to disagree. Should we talk about then the next evolution?
Yeah.
The Mark III BAR, which I've got.
Oh, good.
We had one here at the office at one point in time, but I think we had to send it back to those guys. Otherwise, we'd have that one here.
You choose a loaner.
Yeah.
Yep. Little bit of a redesign. Alloy receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Little lighter, more nimble gun. That particular rifle, so that was a Mark III Safari. It was chambered in 308. That thing shot unreal. Like bolt gun accuracy. When it got hot, it got a little wonky, but man, when she was cool, I mean, we're talking touching them at 100 yards.
Yep. You can get it, with a walnut stock. You can get a synthetic. You can get a camo. So that whatever flavor you're looking for.
Certainly.
They offer it. Really cool gun. I think it's a very elegant looking. I feel like it takes some cues off of the X bolts. With the forend and things like that. Just some lines, some styling cues and lines. Like you said, that one that we shot, man, it worked great. A lot of the different, but not too different. Not an incredible departure from what we have here with the Mark II. Like I said, aesthetically, it's definitely a very different looking rifle.
Certainly is.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, what would be some notable differences? Honestly, Ryan,
it's a pretty radically different gun from like a construction standpoint.
Yeah,
modernized, lighter weight, little cooler materials, perhaps. The boss is gone.
Yep.
Yeah, which is fine.
That was a question because I've never taken this boss off, but it does just thread off. Yes.
Yeah.
I wonder what the thread pitch is.
Mark, that's a leading question.
Yeah, Mark III. Maybe I'll try and find this picture. Is not, you're not going to be able to.
Yeah, it's a pretty small picture.
But
if you go to Browning's website and you hit Control P on the homepage, you can find it in the stack.
You can print your own. Boy, if it was that easy. Should we transition to another version that a person can get if they're so inclined?
The only other version a person can get on the U.S. market?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The Benelli R1, which actually wait, why does this say? I thought that was the Mark III. This is the Mark IV Hunter.
Oh, I guess they're on Mark IVs now. Neat.
I misspoke. Maybe I misspoke there. Regardless, the R1.
Here's a cool gun. Benelli R1s, I remember when they came on scene, the first one that I had in the shop was also an OT6, and it had Benelli's ComfortTech stock, which had these little rubber chevrons that were like a crumple zone on the stock, so it would help absorb recoil. And we unboxed this thing. And we were like a Benelli world-class dealer, so we had a ton of Benelli products, and like I was very familiar with them. But for the first R1 I saw, it looks like an Italian race car. There's lots of swoops and dupes on the gun. It's very unconventional. And pictured there that Mark has, he's got the nice walnut stock. The synthetic stock is it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And they were high end. They were an expensive rifle. They were well north of $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
At the time. This would have been, mid 2000s, late 2000s. That had arrived at the shop there, and we did well with them, but it was like a very certain clientele. There was a contention between the 7400 shooters, the 750 shooters, that Remington semi-auto pile, the BAR guys. There was a guy in our license plate in our town whose license plate was 7mm BAR.
Look out.
Yeah. He meant it too. That was his everything gun. Elk, mule deer, didn't matter.
That guy knows how to use a truck mirror.
Sure.
I'm just teasing.
And then this R1 comes on scene, and everybody's like, "What is this race car?" And few of the younger, more affluent guys bought them, fell in love with them because they are nifty guns. Their recoil impulse is brilliant. They operate the Argo gas system, which is borrowed from the very famous Benelli M1014 and M4.
Yep.
And so it's kind of this interesting regulation system within the gas system that ensures reliable cycling, ensures minimized recoil profile, just based on the gas volume that's coming from the cartridge. So they handle a huge variety of ammunition without much concession. And I've long thought personally, like I don't own a stereotypical semi-automatic hunting rifle. Like I own ARs, which are hunting rifles, but I don't own what you would look at as a classic hunting rifle in semi-auto. And
which I should have probably prefaced our discussion,
sure,
when talking about, because I'm very well aware that
we'll get to ARs.
Any AR. Yeah.
And if I was going to buy one, it would be an R1. And it had been so many years since I'd seen one. And a guy walked in the door maybe 5 months ago with a brand spanking new R1. And he's like, "I'd like to put the scope on it." It's his everything gun. And I forgot how nice they are.
They're beautiful, right?
How they feel, how tight they are. Like everything about them is just svelte. And I said, "Man, it's been a long time since I've seen an R1." He's like, he had a whole bunch of them. He's like, "It's all I hunt with anymore." He's like, "They all shoot sub MOA." He's like, "I love them because they're fast, they're lightweight. Follow-up shots are easy if needed. Gets them mostly in smaller chamberings like 308, OT6. Really, really classy guns. And then when you get the walnut versions, they look the part too.
Oh, very elegant, yeah.
But man, I like that original synthetic with the ComfortTech. Like it's cool. I don't know what I would get. I'd probably get the walnut, but I don't know. I mean, maybe I need the synthetic. I have to paint a use case for that gun. If we start hunting the Schwammer gun, then it's happening.
Yeah, my heart would tell me walnut. My head would tell me just get the synthetic gun and go hunt.
Beat it. Maybe you could both. I don't know. There was a time where when you bought them, you could get the other stock as like a.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It was nifty.
Yeah, I mean with the R1s, man. You can kind of the same with the Brownings. You want the walnut, great. You want the black synthetic, great. I think they've got some camo versions as well. Pick your poison. But yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about the. The current Brownings, and the current Benellis.
Very tight guns, both of them. And then on the American scene, That's it. It's just those two. Now, there are millions of Remington Autoloaders still in circulation. Like, we see so many of those come in the door on an annual basis, and like getting pretty quick here, we're going to see a whole bunch come in to get mounted up. We're going to be throwing new Crossfire HDs on there, the occasional Viper HD on there. Deer season is a month and a half away. That's pretty wild to think about, huh?
I mean, and that is insane to
Meet
think
you
about.
in camp, buddy.
I'll see you there.
Yeah.
After you get your rifle sighted in the night before.
Yeah, the barrel will still be warm when I pull up.
Well, for those guys that are still toting, I'd say probably more commonly 742s. Don't you think that's probably what you see the most of?
I see a lot of 742s, but I see a lot of 740s and 7400s. The occasional 750.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of 74 series guns for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
The only one I hunted with a guy many years ago. Actually, this is back when I was in college as well. He had one, and although it was an autoloader, you did have to manually clear the jam after the first shot.
Typical. Yeah. 742s had a notorious reputation. I guess colloquially known as the Jam-O-Matic.
The Jam-O-Matic, yes.
Yeah. And that was a shame. Because the more you shot them, the worse they got. When they were new, they ran like a scalded ape. But when they got fired a few times, like the guide rails that the bolt rode on would basically turn to a wave, and then it would just cease function. My gunsmith had a trick for reforming and squaring them, and you could get a little bit more life out of the gun. But eventually, it just became a parts gun. And so we often wouldn't buy 742s if they came in. Like, I was under specific and strict instructions to open the bolt up and look at the guide rails. And if there was even the slightest hint of a wave, it was parts gun pricing. And we'd salvage it for them, the stock, the trigger group, the bolt, ejectors, extractors, etc., magazines, things like that. 740s, 7400s, 750s, those were great guns. And some of them were renowned for accuracy. It was a bit of a grab bag. You didn't know necessarily if it was going to be a hammer or not. But when you did have one that was mint, it was ready to rock. But they did not suffer the ill temperament that the 742 did.
Okay.
And they were fine guns, very popular guns. And sometimes they were chambered in neat things. And one of the neatest 750 editions that I sold was in 35 Whelen. We had a batch of them that we had purchased from a distributor in Overrun. And, so here's this, and it was like a carbine almost. Lovely cut checkered stock on it, beautiful pieces of walnut, nice blued finish. And they were chambered in 35 Whelen. And my buddy Lance picked one of those up, had to have it. And I don't know if he ever fired it or not, or if he's hunted with it, but I imagine that would just be an absolute slammer of a Northwoods whitetail or a moose gun. Gosh, that'd be cool. What you looking at there, Marco?
Oh, just a little bit of info on the 42s and 7400s.
Sure.
So yeah, the 7400s, 1980.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep.
You think those are a little bit more reliable then?
Definitely. Yep. I know.
I mean, it would make sense, right?
Yeah.
Got time to work on it, fix a few things.
I know folks that their grandfather.
Manufacturing's gotten probably more efficient, better.
Yeah. So the 742 was the economy version of the 74 series. And well, there's even a more economy version than that, but it was actually better than a 742. This was like during the gas shortage, gas war.
Gosh, would that have been in the 70s then?
Yeah. And so out this gun comes, promising the same but different. And yeah, but on 740s, like I know families that like grandpa bought a 740 brand new, first year of introduction, hunted the wheels off of it, handed it down to his son, who hunted the wheels off it, that handed it down to his son, that has been still hunting the wheels off of it. Like every fall, we have a youngster come in here, kid who's probably between the age of 16 and 21, and says, "Oh, this is my deer rifle. I'd like to upgrade the scope. I finally got some pocket money to spend on it." And you open it up, and like It's oil soaked at the wrist, so it's like been around for a long time, and it's a little oil soaked up here. And it's otherwise in decent shape. It's like, oh, this is a nice gun. How long you had this? He's like, well, my grandpa bought it new, and then it was my dad's gun when he was my age, and now it's my gun that I'm this age. And 740s and 7400s, they keep licking, man. They go. So I don't have any reservations on those 742s. They make a better pump conversion than they make a semi-auto rifle. And I know a guy who does pump conversions on them.
Well, unrelated,
Yep.
for a short stint, Browning had the pump version.
The BPR.
The BPR.
I almost bought an entire BPR set once.
I think we talked about that when we were talking, did a podcast on pump actions.
Almost.
Do you regret it? Not getting it?
No.
What would you be doing with it?
Mark, unfortunately, like many other firearms I own, they say surprise when I open the safe, and I go, what? Oh, yeah. No, I don't. Not really. Not really. There's one other model out on the global market that has some fame, and that's the Merkel SR1.
Once again, you've picked. You did this yesterday too when we were talking about the bolt action shotguns, and then you come up. Well, then there's this one more, and it's just not in my sphere of. It's not where I live.
Yeah.
You know?
Pretty obscure gun. And I think a lot of that is because much of Europe disallows the ownership or use of that kind of firearm. And so, I've only seen maybe 2 in the U.S. On the used market, not ever new in Iraq, because there's not very many Merkel dealers. There's no Merkel importation right now, which is a damn shame. But so beyond that, like, that's it. Like you get the BAR, you get the Benelli R1, or you pick up a used 74 series or 75 series Remington, or if you want to go way back when, an 8, an 81, a self-loader, some of the Remington Auto contemporaries that predate the 74 series guns, and like things like that did exist, but there's not much, man. Like your new selection is 2,
right?
Yeah, unless you buy an AR.
This is true. I've got one more notable thing,
please,
to say about the Benelli R1.
Please,
it is available in 308 and 30-06.
They don't do any of the big mag calibers anymore?
No.
They made those up to 338 Win Mag.
Not when I was on the website. That's all I saw.
There's a fella who made an R1 clone in 505 Gibbs. Great YouTube video.
Gosh.
Yeah.
That's a project, huh?
Yeah.
In fact, I'm gonna fact check myself.
Oh, I'm already there, buddy.
Okay. How'd I do?
I'm getting there. Well, my God, look at that. There's not much. 308, 06. And what else does a fella need besides 308 and 06?
I think if you're the person buying this rifle, nothing.
I agree. That's really fascinating.
That
makes it pretty easy for me. It's just I get a 308 and I call it a day.
Likely, right?
I need another one. Yeah.
Anything about those cartridges, feeding wise, that would make them
certainly. Yep. So no belt, gentle shoulders, developed for semi-automatic applications in the first place.
Correct.
Yep. And or fully automatic applications in the case of 06. So yeah, they are very conducive to feeding. Nice body taper to them, so they up the feed ramps nicely. They come out of a magazine nicely. And they're good. So they made these in up to 338 Win Mag as well.
Up to 338. I think they even had a 300 WSM version.
Sure,
at one
in the short
time.
track.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. My buddy Matt's dad has a BAR in 338 that he hunts black bears with. He's killed more black bears in Minnesota than anybody I know. Loves hunting black bears, loves eating bear burger. And I'm like, Doug, you probably don't need a 338 Win Mag for those. He says, yeah, but I don't like tracking. So, okay. Anyway, so how did we arrive on semi-automatic hunting rifles in the first place? And I've heard some really romantic stories about this. GIs coming back from World War II had been accustomed to a manual of arms from guns like the M1 carbine and the M1 Garand, and they knew that it was a force multiplier, and that's what spun up the industry to build so many different semi-automatic rifles in so many different chamberings. And I believe that is probably true, right? Now, they did exist prior to that. So, you could get a semi-automatic hunting gun. Whether or not they were popular, I guess, remains to be seen, because America was a different place. There was a lot of single-shot shotguns rolling around. The guys were shooting round ball slugs or buckshot. There was, Milsurp 1903s. There was a lot of lever guns. Savage 99s, Marlins, Winchester 94s, 92s, etc. And there was a handful of these kind of racy and eclectic semi-automatic hunting rifles that were a bit more costly and perhaps a bit more extreme, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And then World War II happens. GIs come back. This is when we see the largest boom in like recreational outdoorsmanship, from camping, hunting, fishing, everything, right?
Well, I mean, you gotta imagine. I mean, I'll say, like, a lot of these guys were kids.
Yep.
When they're over there, they are essentially forged being outside in the elements, adventure, adrenaline, using and being familiar with firearms, camaraderie with your fellow man. I mean, hunting is a very natural, I'd say, outlet for a person who, like I said, is essentially forged as, at probably likely a pretty young age. I'm sure, that varied, right? But it just seems like a very natural transition.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. And so GIs come back. Browning's response. Remington's response. Gun cabinets across the United States of America full of these. And there we are. Can we talk about ARs now?
If you want.
People do hunt with them. But I always think it's interesting.
Hey, you know what? Lots of people.
They do. I always think it's interesting, though, that in as much time as I occupied that airspace professionally, I kept hearing and seeing attempts to make them mainstream deer camp staples. It simply did not happen.
By and large, no.
Not even close. Like, not even close. And, Remington took a go at it with the R15 series and
I was an owner.
Yeah, with the camo.
I was in a how do I say it? I wanted an AR, but I wasn't ready to fully commit.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you're saying.
And also, like, my personal application was going to be, this is going to be my new coyote gun. It came in, what was it? It was Max.
Prairie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the time, for hunting, if it came in camo, I needed it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So that was the natural selection for me.
And I've seen this attempt kind of again and again to breach that dome, and unsuccessfully. Like with I think DPMS probably was the most persistent at attempting it, because they had a Panther series that you could get in 243, 260, 708, 308, 338 Federal.
260, huh?
Yep. And then they even made them in 300 short action ultra mag, which was neat. Yeah. And then it just didn't hook up. And then over the years, like, other companies started saying, like, well, let's chamber these things in .6. So you get like an AR-10 plus. And so you've got this extended magwell proprietary magazine, very similar operating system, and manual of arms is identical. And they can get them in .6, 270, 300 Win Mag. And they make them even bigger now. But the AR was never great at blending the lines of, the tactical shooting enthusiast and then the traditional hunter. Just didn't do it. And it's not to say that people don't, because, like, so many of the predator hunters I know are running a gas gun.
For sure.
So many of the hog hunters I know are running a gas gun.
I would say in the hunting realm, those are the where it's made incredibly strong inroads.
Sure.
Like maybe not deer camp, maybe not your high mountain buck hunt or whatever, right? But
And I think it's not because they can't do it. Because most off-the-shelf ARs are going to shoot circles around a BAR from an accuracy perspective. Most off-the-shelf ARs are going to shoot circles around a BAR. Contingent on the reputable quality. But the caliber offerings are not insufficient. I mean, 223 is actually a viable deer rifle. I think to myself every year, I should just go, I've got a Tika in 223, unfired. I should just put up a 2 to 10 and get some Barnes TTSXs and go shoot whitetail does. It'd be great.
It would work famously at, respectable ranges.
300 Blackout, 7.6239, the Wilson Tactical cartridges, 300 Hammer, 450 Bushmaster, 350 Legend, 308 Winchester.
I was going to say 308, 6 arc.
Yeah, absolutely 6 arc.
You killed a couple deers with a 6 arc last year.
I did, yeah. And but there's just something about them, and I think the same trepidation that you had in not being like, it's an AR, but it's different. It still kind of exists.
I think it's purely an aesthetic.
Yeah, agreed. And they are goofy to carry. Like I carried a gas gun for coyotes for a long time, and they're not great. Like I don't like walking around with them.
I guess why?
Vertical pistol grips, man, and they're cold. Everything's made out of aluminum. Oh, okay. I mean, we should go coyote calling. You bring your AR.
Okay.
Cool. It'll get all frosty. Your hands will get stuck to it. They make a bunch of noise. They go ting when you hit a stick with them.
The frost makes the blade stick.
Sometimes. Yeah. So I know folks that do it. I know a bunch of moms and dads that got their small stature children into deer hunting because of the benefits of an AR. Low recoil impulse, adjustable stock, very controllable, very large, selectable safety. We can visually see it's on. We can turn it off from both sides. And then these cartridges that are certainly adequate.
Well, I mean, think about what we were just talking about. You get a gas gun, a 6 arc gas gun with an adjustable stock. Probably, fashion some rail to the bottom that you could maybe put on a tripod if you wanted. I mean, when you're talking about a youth rifle,
bingo,
that is it.
And then you can do one better. Take the upper off via 2 pins, put on a 22 LR upper.
Oh, sure.
And now your youngster or your novice shooter can go practice for nickels instead of dollars. I
mean, that's a very strong argument.
I agree completely. And like that has been the argument since day one to like standardize that as a hunting rifle. It just hasn't happened. I don't know that I've ever bumped into somebody that's not true. I have. I did run into a guy in Wyoming who was hunting with a gas gun in 6.5 Creedmoor. And he didn't like it because it was heavy. He also did just come up a very, 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 very tall hill. He exploited this little track to BLM, and my hat is off to him for doing it. He's from West Virginia. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what is this guy doing? And how did he get here? I got to go talk to him. And so, like, I get out of my little glass and knob, and, like, he's walking through where I'm at anyway. It's over. And he's huffing and puffing. I'm like, brother, my hat is off to you. Like, you scaled that wall. He's like, oh, gosh, yeah. It didn't look like that on Onyx. I said, the contour lines. I see when they get real tight and they look like a whole new color, that means that it's like this. But yeah, he did have a gas gun. Yeah, they just haven't hooked up though. Like, I bet if we had 100 people, it's like, you need to buy a semi-auto deer rifle. What are you going to get? I think a lot of them are going to, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I've killed big game with ARs.
100 years from now, is that the same answer?
I don't think so. I think that, I think the AR's got a lot more in it. Yeah. There are other contemporaries too that semi-automatic rifles used for hunting. I know a fellow who's hunted deer with his M1 Garand.
That's cool.
M1As or M14s. Seen those. I had a customer that used to use an M1 carbine. A lot of SKSs, some AKs. Our very own Scott Holfelder, God bless him. It's just he gravitates towards the Avtomat Kalashnikov for no reason whatsoever other than his convictions. He hunts deer with him.
We did a fun podcast with Scott.
He's something
on AKs.
Yeah. So like,
how many do you think he's got buried in his yard?
Oh, I don't know. They wouldn't be in his yard. That's not how he operates. He's got a paper map with astral. He doesn't even use GPS. Like it's all by the stars. And then he's got a series of rocks and effigies that are placed around him. It's like, yeah, there's 4 cans of sardines with each one. So he's got a ration to keep him rocking and rolling.
God bless him.
He's incredible. Any semi-automatic rifle of legal caliber could be a semi-automatic deer rifle. I think some are better than others. I will tell you, M1 carbine is pretty ho-hum. Pretty ho-hum. Don't recommend necessarily.
Well, I'd say this. To me, the good news is, in what I would consider the traditional deer rifle, hunting rifle realm, a person still has some really great options available from major manufacturers making just an absolutely fine firearm that they can go to their local gun store and get.
Heck yeah.
And that makes me happy.
Yeah. Should we close the action on this one, Mark? Nice. That's a good soundbite.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. As per usual, we want to hear from you.
Yeah.
Let us know. Have you run an auto in the past for your big game hunting? Are you still doing it? You never stopped. Did this make you think, well, maybe I need one of those?
Do you have a story with a rifle like this that is worthy of a fine watercolor?
Another great question.
Nate Hilliard, Nate Fine Art.
Let us know in the comments below. Appreciate you listening. Happy hunting and shooting. Until next time, we'll catch you on the next one, which is hopefully next week. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
There you have it, folks. Thank you very much for listening. As usual, give this video a like if you liked it, comment something below, and give us a subscribe to the Vortex Nation podcast channel. It would mean a lot to us. Also, why don't you give us a follow over on Instagram while you're at it, at Vortex Nation Podcast. We'd love to hear from you over there, and we'll keep you updated with all kinds of cool photos and videos from our adventures that we do here. Otherwise, we will see you on the next one. Thank you again. Happy hunting and shooting, everybody. Have a good one.